In this episode, we will talk about a problem in the Philippines that oftentimes gets dismissed, brushed under the rug, or simply people do not want to admit it. Filipinos are racist. It is a fact. Maybe they are not racist to the level of some other countries. Maybe it's some curiosity, but deep down, you will definitely be mistreated compared to a white person if you're a person of color, black. And you'll notice, in this country, people simply will tell it to your face. One, they are less educated. And two, they simply don't care because they are very inconsiderate. They do not care about your feelings. If you have traveled extensively through this country, you can say people always smile at me, they wave at me, they don't care about my color. Yes, those people may be just younger, or they only know you for a few minutes, therefore cannot show you their true feelings. Today's story is of a man who feels mistreated by his girlfriend's family, or at least disrespected because they think he is not good enough. Additional risk says, my girlfriend's family feels that I am not good enough for her. They always send texts to each other saying she should marry a Dutch man and make comments like, what if I harm her? One of her sisters, who is married to a Dutch man, says, I might have a bad attitude, even though I have been fully supportive of her sister and have never done anything wrong to her or her family. I've even given money here and there to some of them. Has anyone been in this type of stuff? My girlfriend says forget about them, but for me, I like to have family, not having issues with me. In the previous post, this man says he is a black American. We can see why they have an issue with him. Filipinos think all white people are rich. They automatically assume if you are white, you are better than anyone else. Yes, the younger generation prefers Koreans, Japanese. That is correct and factual. However, I am talking about those that you will meet online or are simply interested in meeting a foreigner. Typically, will be those that can maybe date someone who is a senior or just retiring. The young Korean men have no interest in Filipinos. They actually look down on them. They think they are the dirtiest of all Asians. Koreans are extremely racist towards Filipinos, perhaps even more than Filipinos are towards black people. A Filipino, Ishigaru Kaz, says, I read in your response that you are black American. Well, that's your answer. Lots of Filipinos are racist. It's a trait we unfortunately inherited from our colonizers and from our intermarriage with the Chinese. Big sister thinks she married upwards because she married a white man. The sister also sounds like a narcissist. She wants to make sure your girlfriend understands that she is smarter and better than her. I've seen this often enough among Filipino siblings. Her comments are ignorant, of course, because it's not race nor nationality that determines the disposition of a person. I know a Filipina who got married to a Dutch man who had an extremely controlling behavior and ditched her when she contracted cancer. This is true. Oftentimes, Filipino siblings have a rivalry, and they also have this crab mentality, of course, we know that by now. Mixed Art says, I'm sorry to hear that. How disrespectful of the family. It's common for low-income families to prefer foreigners over Filipinos because of money, and how it's expected to be a benefit to the household. But I believe this isn't your case. The family is the red flag. Hopefully the girlfriend isn't. Focus on you, your girlfriend, and your relationship. If they see how happy she is with you, they will be more accepting. If they still insist on non-existent Dutch husband, then it's better to keep your distance. This is true. Oftentimes, the best answer is to distance yourself from the family. However, in reality, it may not be the case. Many of these women are very close to their families, and it's hard to separate them from the family. Also, why marry or be with someone if there's conflict between the families? Do you not want to have a big, happy family? These are problems that you will face. Rorita says, this is my husband and I as well. He's Mexican, but born in the US. His family is respectable, and my husband is a sweetheart. He even saves opossums during winter times. But even then, my mom was so scared. The first year we were dating, she keeps telling me to be careful going out with him. She keeps asking hundreds of questions, and sometimes she will just randomly tell me about stories on the news about dangerous situation, including cartel and stories like that. My mom is a very sweet lady, but she's very suspicious of foreigners. All I can say is that it comes from concern, ignorance, as well as just how you always need to be wary that strangers in the Philippines. So honestly, I suggest to evaluate his relationship with his girlfriend and make sure she's standing up for him whenever they speculate things about him. That's the only way that fixed my family's opinion of my husband. This is the key here. Your partner, girlfriend, wife needs to be the one to stand up for you, or else they will continue to talk about you behind your back or even in front of you to your face. Your partner is the one who should stand up to the family, let them know, educate them, and remind them that she is the one that chose you and that they need to accept it, especially in situations where you are providing financial means to the family. That is the worst part. Oftentimes, men go through this situation, yet they continue to give money to the family, even though they are disrespecting him. Please, men, listen. If you are in this situation, simply cut them off. If they mistreat you, then you should mistreat them as well and cut off the purse strings. Sweet Vanilla says, remember, when you marry a Filipina, you marry her family. They not liking you can cause huge problems down the road. Does the family have money? They may not like you are black because it's messing up the quote look of the family line. I will guess they don't have money because Filipinos are racist. If they had money, they would never deal with an African American or black person. Ironically, Sweet Vanilla is a Filipina who thinks she has pale skin. In the last video, we talked about why the Philippines is falling behind its neighboring countries in the tourism sector, and the best comment is from Jerry. Incompetence and arrogance and low intellect and laziness, and a lot more adjectives describing incompetence, ignorance, low intellect, and laziness. Excellent reasons of why the Philippines is falling behind. Dave says 1. Healthcare issues regarding bad rotten teeth are common among its people. 2. Laziness in the workplace and using mobile phones in the workplace is common. 3. Roads in poor conditions and vehicles with defects risking lives and pollution. 4. The burning of plastic at night time is common, affecting breathing and lungs. Food. 5. Food diet with sugar added and fried foods is common. 6. Relationship scamming, online dating is common. 7. Cultural negatives including lying constantly, and if they say sorry, then they will repeat the same over and over again. That's not sorry, that's manipulation. 8. Very friendly, but always with alternative motives. Good luck. The worst comment is from Sweet Stuff, who is a recent viewer of the channel and has been writing dozens of comments thinking she can single-handedly change my mind or prove this channel wrong. Well, she's mistaken, but she says the Philippines will surpass Thailand economy by 2028. That right there shows you the ignorance, the lack of knowledge, education of a Filipino person. Imagine the Philippines overtaking Thailand economy within the next 3 years. This person is either a child or a simpleton to think this in 3 years that Thailand will be below and behind the Philippines is simply laughable and delusional. To become the second biggest economy in Southeast Asia next to Indonesia, fifth in Asia, it is also forecasted by 2040 or 2050 the Philippines will be the 14th biggest economy in the world. These kinds of comments are hilarious to me. People that believe this type of nonsense or stats are people that have never left their country or traveled to different countries or have any idea of how actual banking systems work. These numbers don't mean anything. When you see these percentiles rising or GDP increasing, that is because the Philippines is so poor that any influx in income will drastically change people's livelihood, therefore making it seem as though they are thriving. But no, that is not the case. You will never be as good as Thailand, remotely, even close to neighboring countries. And that is not from a place of hate. That is just factual. What has improved in the Philippines in the past 20 years? Nothing. Nothing at all. Now for the catfish of the day. How do you go from this to this? Subscribe to the channel so we can spread the truth about this country. Thanks for watching. God bless.